Hey, hello and welcome guys. Welcome to a brand new Coffee Talk. This is a place in which we discuss and talk about different topics around software. The microservices architecture has become one of the most popular architectural styles that drive software development nowadays. Now, this pattern might seem easy to use, but it's actually quite the opposite. It brings too many complications at both development experience and operational side. So there are some drawbacks you might consider when making the decision of moving on with microservices architecture or not. In this video, I bring you 3 different scenarios in which you shouldn't use microservices. Hopefully, these 3 situations will help you better understand the pros and cons of the microservices architecture and when you should and shouldn't use it as your default approach. So, scenario number 1, building an MVP or a proof of concept. So you should never use microservices architecture if you're building an MVP because you want to test an idea in the market, or you're building a proof of concept because you want to confirm an hypothesis. The microservices architecture is extremely complex and it brings a lot of challenges, often involving issues with synchronization of data, testing, coupling, and consistency. If you are building an MVP or a very first version of a product because you want to test an hypothesis, I recommend not using microservices architecture and instead moving on with a quite simpler approach. If the application turns out to be successful, then you will have time to migrate things to microservices. But I assure you that you will regret spending too much time and putting so much effort on building something using microservices from scratch if that application turns out to be a failure. Scenario number 2, limited budget. If you ever had to build an application and you are short of budget, you are short of money, or your budget is limited, then microservices architecture is not a good choice. Recall that microservices architecture essentially involves having a bunch of services distributed and each one running in its own piece of infrastructure, meaning servers and databases. Having such a distributed and complex architecture made up of too many pieces of infrastructure will require to spend some money. So expect the microservices architecture to be quite expensive. Scenario number 3, small applications with just a few users or applications that have little web traffic. The microservices architecture was designed by nature for building highly scalable applications. So you should only consider the microservices architecture for building applications that you know will require to process a high number of incoming requests at any given time. If your application happens to be a small one or to have just a few users, or the web traffic that they are receiving is quite low, then microservices will be just a waste of money and effort. You will be better off just using a monolithic architecture. And with that said, we have come to the end of this episode. Quite a short one. I hope you got a better understanding on when and when not to use microservices architecture as an alternative for building a software product from scratch. Now it's your turn to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Thank you very much for watching and see you around with more content.